Hey guys, what's up? This is Umar Khan and I welcome you to another tutorial on this introductory part. And in this tutorial, we are going to be covering the difference between high-level languages versus the low-level languages. So starting on with the comparison between the two, we will start on with the meaning. So if you talk about the high-level languages, then with the help of these languages, one can write applications that are portable across various platforms and is independent of any architecture. Whereas if you talk about the low-level languages are those languages which are extremely close to machine languages. They are also known as the assembly language. Then if you talk about the benefit, then the high-level languages are easier to understand and are very user-friendly. Whereas if you talk about low-level languages, they are more appropriate for developing new operating systems or writing firmware codes for microcontrollers. Then if you talk about the speed, high-level languages are slow. They have a lot of abstractions and layers of code before they reach the hardware itself. Whereas in low level, the machine code is nearer, which is actually fast to process and return the output. Then if you talk about the portability, high-level languages are extremely portable. They are mostly used to write softwares which can run on multiple platforms and architectures. Whereas if you talk about low-level languages portability, low-level languages codes are extremely difficult to understand. Codes written for one assembly language is impossible to run on the other. So to run a similar piece of code on different machines, you have to write different set of code, because as I told you that code written for one assembly language is impossible to run on the other. Then to the final point, if you talk about which is better, high level or low level, then high level languages is where all the creative things take place and it can be debugged in a much easier manner than in low level. Whereas in low level, it is very challenging and it requires a great deal of experience and knowledge. So if you talk about all these five and conclude this, then you might have seen that high level languages are much better and easier than low level. Moreover, the complexity of high level is much more or less than the low level, because low level are very, very complex. That's why I've added this image here that says, say low level one more goddamn time. So he's gonna shoot the guy who says low level one more time. And the reason behind that is the complexity of low level. Alright. So jokes apart, let's move on to the view considering C and C++. So C has a lot of characteristics similar to that of Pascal language. Sometimes it is still considered as a low-level language. The reason being it supports operations of bits, pointers, and direct access to memory. C and C++ actually is a high-level language with the inclusive feature of low-level. This is the main reason why programmers depend on C over anything for its unbeatable qualities. It may seem weird that C, though treated as a low-level language, is extremely portable. Phonetically speaking, C is actually extended to use hardware at its extreme limits as possible. Assembly language, on the other hand, is hardly portable. So, though trying to achieve portability is a big deal in case of low-level, especially in case of Java, which runs on a JVM, that is a Java virtual machine, whereas C or assembly languages that are running in a virtual machine will never have a pure access to the hardware. To be more precise, a language becomes a low level if it is specifically structured to run directly on the hardware. Low-level languages have very less syntax, unlike high-level languages which have loads of codes. So the languages that are low level, which allow full access of the hardware, would actually be a language that is much often more considered. So finally, talking about the concluding remarks. Low-level languages do have an added advantage of being lose control of the CPU, but their codes are extremely difficult to understand and debug by fellow programmers. Every other architecture family have their own set of assembly language, which means that code written for one is impossible to run on the other, which in short means that code is not portable, as we discussed earlier. So the advantages of high level languages is that high level languages are extremely portable on the other hand, and they are mostly used to write softwares which can run on multiple platforms and architectures. Neither of them can replace each other because they too are two sides of the same coin. So this was basically the comparison between high level and low level. And now I guess you know that why we have to use high level, why we have to use low level, what is the complexity level of high level, what is the complexity level of low level. The main point and the main difference why we have to consider one is the term portability, and I hope that you understand what the term portability is in terms of high level and low level. So I guess that's it with this tutorial. Thank you so much guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.